Ministry in a digital environment is here to stay. Even in a post-pandemic world, ministry will never be the same again. Today on Global Pentecostal Podcast, I want to talk to you about the 5 top keys to Pentecostal ministry in a virtual environment. Right after this. Hey, this is Dr. Jonathan Alvarado, and I'm cordially and personally inviting you to a symposium on Pentecostal Spirituality being hosted by the Greater Atlanta Theological Seminary and Global Pentecostal Perspectives on Pentecost weekend, Friday, May 21st and Saturday, May 22nd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time online. I want to encourage you to register and be a part of this life-changing event. We have wonderful guests, guest lecturers, and guest interlocutors that weekend in the persons of Dr. Estrelda Alexander of the William Seymour Foundation in Bowie, Maryland, the author of Blackfire, A History of Afro-Pentecostalism, and Dr. Robbie Waddell, New Testament scholar, early church historian, Pentecostal scholar in Southeastern University, Lakeland, Florida. They too will be with us on that weekend, instructing, encouraging, answering questions, and guiding us into this spirituality. You do realize that Pentecostal spirituality is the fastest growing spirituality of all the Christian traditions around the planet. You and I should be together on that weekend to dialogue, to discuss, to pray, and to hear from the Lord. Don't miss a symposium on Pentecostal spirituality. Pentecost weekend, Friday, May 21st, Saturday, May 22nd, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. both days. You may register at gatseminary.org. That's gatseminary.org. Click the registration button and you can register, and we'll be together on Pentecost weekend for a symposium on Pentecostal spirituality. I hope to see you there. Hey, I'm Dr. Jonathan Alvarado, and you're viewing Global Pentecostal Podcast. And I'm here today to talk to you about the 5 top keys to Pentecostal ministry in a virtual environment. Everybody has had to take their ministry virtually as a result of the pandemic. Now the question that's upon all of us is, how do we move forward now that the pandemic seems to be lifting, gatherings are being allowed, people are coming together? How do we move forward? I'd like to suggest to you that digital ministry in virtual spaces is not going anywhere. What we've come to discover is that the tool of the 21st century, the internet, digital communities, digital spaces, that access and opportunity is here to stay and beneficial for the church, for the people of God, for a community and a broader society that is so busy, that is so engaged, that is so stretched as thin as they possibly can be. It's oftentimes just to make ends meet, that this technological revolution, the likes of which we have not seen in the last 500 years, gives us the opportunity to do ministry in a different way. I want to talk to you about the top 5 keys to doing Pentecostal ministry in a virtual environment. I want to encourage you that if you're deriving any value out of this at all, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'll be a benefit and blessing to you. Hit the notifications bell so that way you can know when we're coming on, and that way you can be apprised of and a part of the community when we do our live stream every Saturday evening, Global Pentecostal Perspectives, and when we release our podcasts on Thursdays, Global Pentecostal Podcast. I want to encourage you to do so. It'll be a benefit and blessing in your life. All right? There'll be some links in the description below of some books, some things that are some resources that will be of benefit to you. I may mention them as we go, but don't forget to check the description because there's some books and things. They'll be there for you to be able to peruse, some things that'll be of benefit and blessing to you as you hear them and come across them over the course of this podcast. Okay? The first key of the top 5 keys to Pentecostal ministry in a virtual environment is key number 1, be authentic. Don't get in a digital space and be somebody else. You know, them old people I was raised around used to say stuff with profundity and wisdom, things like this. Son, it's hard enough to be who you is, much less trying to be somebody you ain't. What a profound insight. What a tremendous thought. Be authentic. Don't be outside of the digital environment, a completely different person than you are. Don't try to put on airs to become something inside a digital environment. What I've come to discover about the 21st century is people want reality. They want the real. They want to know the real you. Digital spaces, because of the distance, oftentimes because of great distances across the country, across the waters, in other countries, people want to feel a sense of authenticity and genuineness coming through. They want to feel like they've actually made a human connection, even though it's in a digital space. Be authentic. Secondly, be Pentecostal. Oftentimes, Pentecostal people get into digital spaces and act like Pentecostalism, our spirituality, our practices, our enchantment, our mysticism, those things are not for the digital world. Well, if not for the digital world, then where? This is a miraculous medium of exchange and expression, a technological revolution the likes of which the planet has not seen for the last 500 years. A communications revolution. There's room in the digital environment for you and I to not only be authentic, but to be Pentecostal. What do I mean? I mean, as you are prompted, prophesy. Speak the word of the Lord to those who are listening to you. As you are prompted by the Spirit, pray. Take a moment. I've been in live streams and people have thought that we've been kind of crazy because in the middle of the live stream, somebody will make a comment in the chat and either my interlocutor or my dialogue partner or my panel or whoever's on there with me will say, hey, I have a word for that person. Be Pentecostal. Don't lose your Pentecostalism just because you're in a digital environment and somebody on Facebook might not understand. The devil is a liar. You and I have to be Pentecostal wherever we are. We have to express our Pentecostalism, our enchantment, our spirituality, not only in phenomenological ways, but also in thinking Pentecostally. Don't revert to the kind of populist thinking that exists out there just because it is popular. You and I are not on the digital media just to be able to make friends, but we're on the digital media to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ. So not only be authentic, but be Pentecostal with all the accompanying charisms and mysticism that Pentecostalism embodies and imbibes. Thirdly, be technically savvy. I know that's harsh. I know that's a hard criticism to bring to some people, but listen, top 5 keys to ministry, Pentecostal ministry in a virtual environment. Key number 3, be technically savvy. Hey, get on YouTube before you go on YouTube. Watch some videos before you make some videos. See how others, expert in the craft of content creation, are doing it. So that way, when you come to the table, you're able to bring ministry at a level that honors God, that brings the best that you have to the table and doesn't embarrass your church or embarrass you. We're 16 months into the pandemic. Nobody should be doing Zooms and videos and preaching on Sundays and teaching on Wednesdays with a camera looking up in your nose and all your nose hairs are hanging down and all your turkey neck chin is hanging down. We're past that. We're 16, 17 months into the pandemic. Everybody knows, elevate your camera, put it up on some books. If you're using your phone, buy a $12 stand, buy a $12 tripod, a handheld tripod, put it up on top of a bookshelf. They come with a little grip for your iPhone or for your iPad or for whatever kind of device you're using. Be technically savvy. Just come up a little bit, level up just a little bit. Get a microphone that plugs into your phone. It costs you $12, $15 to go to Best Buy and get you a microphone. I'll have a link in the description for the kind of microphone that you can get, for the kind of a tripod that you can get. It will not hurt you. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not trying to break the bank. All I want you to do is be technically savvy. No one can hear the gospel if they can't hear your voice. No one will maintain ministry and stick with you if they got to turn their head to the side to see the picture because you got it cocked over to the side, or you're too far back, or you sound like you're in an echo chamber somewhere. Be technically savvy. Lights are important. Microphone is important. Editing is important. Live stream support is important. So if you're doing a live stream from your sanctuary, get 4 or 5 of them young people that already know what they're doing anyway to support you in that effort. So they can tell you, no, Pastor, don't stand right there. You should stand over here. The light's better. Or no. Don't wear those colors. Wear something that's more flattering, something that brings out your skin tone, something that doesn't wash you out. Anything to elevate, level up your technical ability to put out that message that is inside of you. Be authentic. Be Pentecostal. Be technically savvy. All right? Be content driven. Here's number 4. Be content driven. Listen to me very carefully. The energy and enthusiasm of the enclosed space is dissipated when the numbers are less and gone when you're exclusively in a digital environment. Like in here, I cannot expect your amens to drive the vlog that I'm doing, the podcast that I'm doing right now. I can expect your enthusiasm to drive it. I can't expect the effervescence of the room to drive it. It's got to be content driven. I've got to know in my mind the message that I want to communicate to you. Write it down in some notes, prepare it so that way I can say to you, number 1, be authentic. Number 2, be Pentecostal. Number 3, be technically savvy. Number 4, be content driven. Environment. Here's number 5. Be variegated. Use different formats, different platforms, different scenery, different ways of expressing the ministry, different persons, i.e. men and women, youth and seniors, different diverse nationalities that are present among you. Invite them to be a part of what you're doing. We were doing live stream Bible study. And our preferred platform is StreamYard. I'll put a link for it in the description. So if you're looking for a digital platform, a cloud-based encoder to be able to stream out your stream into multiple platforms at a pretty reasonable cost. It's a pretty low cost, actually. I'll put the link down there to StreamYard in the description so you can see it. But one of the things we discovered was if I invite several persons to participate just like we would in the sanctuary, I can have a worship leader and bring them up on the screen. I can have a person to read scripture, bring them up on the screen. I can have somebody to do the prayer, bring them up on the screen. I can have announcements prepared, things that the congregation needs to know, congregational concerns, those kind of things. I can bring those up on the screen. And in that way, we're variegated. So that way people are not having to consistently not be able to see the breadth of the ministry. What you want to do is express the breadth of the ministry that's coming out of your church or your ministry in the various and sundry iterations and performances of ministry that you have. So be authentic, be Pentecostal, be technically savvy, be content driven, be variegated in your expression. Listen, if you've derived any value at all out of anything that's been said on today in my top 5 keys to Pentecostal ministry in a virtual environment, like, subscribe to, share, and hit the notifications tab on my YouTube channel. Do it. It'll be a blessing to you. It'll bless the channel. Perhaps you'd like to support the channel in more tangible and monetary ways. You can do so by going on to our Cash App. You can support us in that way. Our Cash App is $GPP Give, Global Pentecostal Perspectives or Global Pentecostal Podcast Give. GPP Give, $GPP Give. Or you can go to PayPal at me at Global Pentecostal Perspectives, and that will tap into our PayPal. You can support us in that way. I want to provide content for you that is beneficial and meaningful, that is helpful and uplifting. I want to provide resources for you. That's why I put links in the description. I want you to check the links below because they will be of benefit to you. And I want you to tap into my top 5 keys to Pentecostal ministry in a virtual environment. I believe if you put them in place, it'll level your game up to the next level. God will be glorified, and you'll see great results in your life and ministry. I'm Dr. Jonathan Alvarado, and you have been watching the Global Pentecostal Podcast. I'll see you next week.